We are located on the campus of State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. Today is Monday, the 5th of February, and your radios today are, right now, just me, Caroline. Wanda will be joining us soon. We will be reading the news from the Dunn Daily Record and the Rayford News Journal. And we're going to start off with the Dunn Daily Record for January 31st. That's last Wednesday. And the lead story is Dunn man says he made good on online transactions. Victims say they have seen no money. This is by Lisa Farmer, managing editor. Oh, I didn't know we had more than one there, but they're getting bigger and better. A Dunn native who has been accused of taking money from two men and not delivering the goods he advertised online says that he has made good on his dealings. Well, we've seen a lot of that happen. Both alleged victims say that's not true. Brian Wood of Dunn said he righted himself after seeing the article in the Dunn Daily Record of a World War II veteran, Marvin Smith of Fayeville, who said Mr. Wood took his deposit and did not deliver on a car lift Mr. Wood had for sale. Mr. Wood said after the article was published, he decided to make things right and gave Marvin Smith $1,100 in cash. Mr. Smith said he has not heard from Mr. Wood and has received no money. He says he lost $1,200. I haven't heard from Mr. Wood, and I don't expect to, Mr. Smith said. The only thing I saw were the taillights of his car when he was leaving. Mr. Smith called the Wake County Sheriff, who said he drew up warrants against Mr. Wood. Mr. Wood said he also returned a deposit to Ricky Nichols of South Boston, Virginia. I do have an exhaust bender I had for sale online. He contacted me and said he wanted to purchase it. He agreed he was going to send me a deposit. I had so many people who are wanting this bender. Okay. He sent for me a small deposit. I pulled the bender offline. He told me he would contact me around lunchtime the next day and head down my way, Mr. Wood said. So I had an emergency come up that same night. I was tied up all the way into the morning hours. When I did get in contact with Mr. Nichols, he said he'd been down here about 2 hours. This is about 9 or 9:30 in the morning, Mr. Wood said. Mr. Wood said he was not expecting Mr. Nichols that early. Mr. Wood said by the time he talked to Mr. Nichols, he was headed back to Virginia. I offered to drive the bender to Virginia. He didn't want that, Mr. Wood said. Mr. Wood said early on in the negotiations, quote, I made it clear if you make a deposit, it was going to be non-refundable, unquote. Mr. Wood said despite this, he agreed to the refund. Then after I agreed, the profanity and vulgarity came from Mr. Nichols, and I had second thoughts, Mr. Wood said. Mr. Wood said, however, he later did send Mr. Nichols a cashier's check through registered mail. I have not received a cashier's check, a money order, or anything. Nothing at all from Mr. Wood, Mr. Nichols said. Mr. Smith, the vet from Fayeville, told the Dunn Daily Record Mr. Wood told him his mother had died and Mr. Smith felt sorry for him. Mr. Smith said there were other excuses. Every 30 minutes he had another problem and another reason he couldn't pay me, Mr. Smith said. Mr. Nichols said Mr. Wood told him his mother was in a bad car wreck and that was why he didn't meet Mr. Nichols. Mr. Nichols said several days later, he sent me a picture of the car. He said it was the car she was in. Mr. Wood said he probably said his mother was sick, but not that she died. I may have mentioned my mother was sick, but nothing else. Nothing as far as death or anything like that, he said. Mr. Wood said his mother is sick and he spends time taking care of her. He admitted in the case of Mr. Smith there were some issues for what me and Mr. Smith had. For at the time it was printed, there was an issue there. I have a past. I have a criminal record, a lengthy one, but that's not who I am today, Mr. Wood said. He also said he is living in Conway, South Carolina for the last several months, where he works as a repossessing agent, a career he's been doing on and off for 10 years. Tom Warner contributed to that article. Boy, that sounds like a mess. I guess it's one reason I don't want to buy online. All right, church car break-in, suspect captured. Good deal. Authorities have apprehended the first of 2 suspects wanted for motor vehicle break-ins at 3 southern Johnston County churches this month. 24-year-old Samuel Drew II of Four Oaks was arrested and charged with multiple counts of larceny and breaking and entering motor vehicles. He was held under a $300,000 secured bond in the Johnston County Detention Center. The search continues for the second suspect, 41-year-old Chester Vale Bass, whose last known address was the 6500 block of Strickland's Crossroads Road. Mr. Bass is 5'6", 240 pounds, with red or auburn hair and green eyes. Okay. Cars were broken into during Sunday morning worship services on January 14th at 3 Benson area churches: Stones Creek Advent Christian Church on Woods Crossroads Road, Fairhaven Church of God on North Carolina 242 South, and at Banner Chapel Advent Christian Church on NC 50. Approximately $2,000 in items was taken from the vehicles, including cash, credit cards, and cell phones. In one case, a car window was broken to gain entry. Anyone who has any information on the whereabouts of Chester Vale Bass is asked to contact the Johnston County Sheriff's Office at 919-989-5000 or call 911. And as I told you, today is February 5th. You've already had Groundhog's Day, according to, we always celebrate Groundhog's Day. And according to Puxatawny Phil, we've got 6 more weeks of winter. However, Staten Island Chuck says it's going to be an early spring, so I guess you pay some money and you take your choices. And Wanda has now joined us, and she will be reading from the Dunn Daily Record, dated February 1st. Oh, she gets a later one than I did. Well, good for her. Okay. This is the Thursday edition.
Okay.
Oh, wait, do you have the...
Which one do you have? January 30th.
Oh, no. Let's do the later one.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Yeah. And actually, I should have started with the weekend one. But no, that's even older.
Okay,
so you can start with that.
Here we go. And here are the winners. The Dunn Area Chamber of Commerce ushered in a new president, Dana Cochran, and honored several civic-minded and influential citizens at its annual banquet. The following were the award winners: Man of the Year, Billy Barfield; Woman of the Year, Parrish Hayes Daughtry; Business of the Year, Dunn Benson Ford; Small Business of the Year, Johnson Transmission and Auto Service; Ambassador of the Year, Lee Honeycutt; Young Professional of the Year, Hope Tyndall. Ms. Tyndall served as Master of Ceremonies during the awards presentation, reading off the presentations, with the exception to her award, which Ms. Cochran read to Ms. Tyndall's surprise. Here's a wrap-up of the award winners. 2017 Man of the Year. Dunn Council member Billy Barfield was presented the Man of the Year award by last year's recipient, Bobby Carr. Mr. Barfield has been involved in the community in many ways and in many years, including serving as Dunn's own downtown Santa during the Christmas season. Some of the organizations he has been involved with are Boy Scouts, Dunn JCs, Dunn Kiwanis Club, Masons, Shriners, Special Olympics, Red Cross Community Blood Drives, and he is an active member of the Wisdom Table at Sherry's Bakery. He served on the Dunn Fire Department for 36 years, retiring as Assistant Chief. He was president of Automotive Supply Company, which was responsible for opening the first Napa store in Dunn. After selling the company in 1990, he went on to work for the North Carolina Department of Corrections. He's also involved in the Chamber, being named Ambassador of the Year in 2013. He and his family attend First Baptist Church of Dunn, where he is a deacon. He is married to former Woman of the Year, Annette Barfield, and they have 2 children, Will and Ruth Hope, and 3 grandchildren, Ashley, Kim, and Anakin. In uncharacteristic Mr. Barfield fashion, he had a few words. "Thank you," he said. "I owe my wife an apology. I told her she couldn't keep a secret. I encourage you to trade in Dunn, buy local." He said later that in 1967 he was awarded the Young Man of the Year by the Dunn JCs. 2017 Woman of the Year. Parrish Hayes Daughtry was presented Woman of the Year by last year's recipient, Dana Cochran. Our recipient has a personal goal of helping others and giving back to the greater community, Mrs. Tyndall said. Mrs. Daughtry has served the Dunn Junior Women's Club. Friends Fighting Cancer is on the Harnett County Business Education Partnership, is co-chair of the Central Carolina Community College Foundation Board. Golf Tournament is co-chair of Citizens for Harnett Educational Fairness and is a Moorhead Scholar Selection Alumni Applicant Reader. The University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and Campbell University grad is also very involved in Harnett County schools. This year she began serving on the Dunn Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Mrs. Daughtry, an attorney with Hayes, Williams, Turner, and Daughtry, attorneys at law, has served as president of the Harnett County Bar Association and as a member of the North Carolina Advocates for Justice, for which she was a past recipient of the Order of Service Award. Ms. Daughtry is an active member of the First Presbyterian Church of Dunn. She is married to Larry Daughtry and they have 3 sons, Carter, Reese, and Cole. Ms. Daughtry was doing pretty good until her 3 sons presented her with roses and she got choked up. "I'm very honored," she said. She said she looked out in the audience to women who have done amazing things. "I'm humbled." She said she and her husband never thought of settling somewhere else, and now it's her turn to give back to the community. 2017 Business of the Year. The 2017 Business of the Year award went to Carlton and Kemp Lamb and their team at Dunn Benson Ford. It was presented by last year's recipient Kim Schmidlin of Carolina Therapy Services. This business started more than 27 years ago when the owner made the switch from running a restaurant to being in the car business to spend more time with his family. The family-owned business has been the perfect fit for this father and son duo, Ms. Tyndall said. Dunn Benson has 60 staff members. The Lambs also own Quick Lane Tire and Auto Service. They recently opened Dunn Benson Motorsports and have Bobby Pierce as their driver. Another family business includes Carlton Sutton's Cattle Company, which the North Carolina Veterinarian School uses for training students. Our recipients have a passion for giving back to their community, supporting many charitable organizations and community events, including Autism Society of North Carolina, St. Jude Children's Hospital, Toys for Tots, Victory Junction Camp, Wounded Warriors Foundation, Future Farmers Association, FFA, and the Miss North Carolina Scholarship Pageant, just to name a few. They are ardent supporters of Campbell University, having entered into a partnership with them with a race team sponsorship, Ms. Tyndall said. As well, they have provided a horse and buggy for the annual Dunn Christmas tree lighting for many years and have sponsored the General Lee Airborne Museum First Responders Lunch since its inception, Mr. Tyndall said. In his acceptance, Carlton Lamb said he was not a speaker but a talker. "I am so thankful," he said. He said he came to Dunn 22 years ago and the community accepted him and his business. His advice is to do a good job, treat people fairly, and look them in the eye. Kent Lamb said he thanked the Lord and all the good employees.
Okay, Benson goes to the dogs. Town welcomes Pooch Park, first in the area, by Rick Pearl of the Record staff. Benson has a reputation for welcoming anyone and everyone to its businesses, restaurants, and shops. Well now, add something else to the list of comforts, and this one is geared towards man's best friend. After more than a year of planning, seeking funding, designing, and construction, the Benson Dog Park officially opened for use Tuesday morning. It is nestled in attractive land occupying the space between Interstate 95 and South Walton Drive. Town officials hope it becomes an important part of the economic development of the town, along with a neighboring hotel currently under construction. Today is a great day for the local businesses that exist at Exit 79 and the visitors that frequent our exit, Mayor Jerry Medlin says. As we open the Benson Dog Park, many people and pets will be impacted by this improvement. According to Town Manager Matt Zapp, Mr. Zapp, I found out what his first name is. The new park is estimated to help bring as many as 400 additional visitors to the Johnston County town. This is something that was always in the mind of town leaders when the project was being discussed. Several times over the course of the project's development, Mr. Zapp and other town staffers referred to the number of travelers who bring their pets along and who need a place for them to stop and take a pet break. Well, everybody needs a break. Mr. Zapp estimated as much as $35,000 in local revenue could be brought to Benson annually because of the park and hotel, which would be pet-friendly and have a connecting entrance to the dog park. The mayor called the project a boom for all businesses associated with the area. We anticipate 200 to 400 visitors a day to stop by the Benson Dog Park, Mayor Medlin said. This park will serve as an economic driver for the entire interchange. During the ceremonies to officially bring the park into the town's infrastructure, Mayor Medlin emphasized the way the park was ultimately financed. Please know that the park itself was funded without any local tax dollars, he said. Thank you to Donna Bailey Taylor at the Johnston County Visitors Bureau. A major portion of the $35,000 park was funded with JCVB grant and local bed tax dollars. In addition to the money supplied for the project by the JCVB, do you know what JCVB stands for?
No, I don't.
Junior Congress Visitors Bureau, maybe? Or Johnston County Visitors Bureau, I bet. An economic development grant of $4,000 was provided by the Electricity's Economic Development Office. While the funding was provided from sources other than residential tax dollars, the state of North Carolina provided a major piece of the puzzle. They offered the town a lease on the land adjacent to the exit on Interstate 95 that is now the home of the park, adding a very beneficial partner to the creation of the park. Thank you, NCDOT, for working with the town of Benson on such a unique concept, he said. The dog park would not be possible without the 3.5 acres lease from DOT. Observing among the crowd was former Benson Mayor William Massengill. Mr. Massengill presided over the town during the majority of the actions leading up to the building of the park. Both he and the current mayor served the town government during the development and planning as well as when the construction got underway. It's exciting to see what we can accomplish when people come together and work on an issue that took multiple entities, he said. To see this come together, it's exciting. And now Benson is going to be known for something other than mules. Ha good deal.
Okay. Continuing on with the Dunn Area Chamber of Commerce winners, the 2017 Small Business of the Year, Jerry Johnson, owner of Johnson's Transmission and Auto Service, was given the Small Business of the Year award by last year's recipient, Jamie Atkins of Broad Street Deli and Market. This business began with a man and a barn. Then it grew to a two-person garage, and as the years grew, so did the business. The business is now blessed to include a 10-bay garage, body shop, frame room, transmission room, and paint booth. And recently they added a new office space with a spacious waiting room to accommodate their customers, Ms. Atkins said. This business is very deserving of this award just in their unselfish acts of kindness for the community. 4 years ago, they started participating in the nationwide Wheels to Prosper program, where the owner buys a car and once a year gives it to a deserving person. In addition, he, along with different vendors, donates up to $500 to a deserving person to go for car repairs. These programs are both based on a nomination process. At Christmas, they will donate food and presents to someone in the community who has suffered a hardship.
That's cool.
Yes, it is. I love this. Before school, they will get a list from a local school and buy school supplies needed for students to help the teachers out. They also sponsor kids through programs such as Skills USA, 4-H, Meadow Athletic Team, and more. Mr. Johnson thanked God, his family, and employees. He said he got his work ethic from growing up on a farm. He said he maintains his slogan, "There's nothing we can't fix." Oh my goodness. You need to put this one in your Rolodex. Ambassador of the Year. Lee Honeycutt was presented the Ambassador of the Year award, Ambassador of the Year by last year's winner, Becky Parker. This award basically goes to the hardest working chamber volunteer. Mr. Honeycutt, in addition to being involved in the chamber, is active in many other organizations, including Dunn PAL, Masons, Dunn Clowns, Boy Scouts, and Dunn Rotary. He is also active at Roberts Grove OFWB. And what is that? OFWB Church.
Old, something, I think it's Old Free Will Baptist.
Okay. He's a good singer, too. Professionally, Mr. Honeycutt is the CEO of Agent Alliance Group. During an event, he was approached by chamber staff saying, "You come to all the events, you might as well earn some points for it." So he officially joined the Ambassadors Club in April 2016, Ms. Tyndall said. According to Ms. Parker, in his free time he loves to hunt, fish, sing, play the guitar, and spend time with his family, including his wife, Julie, and his children, Jonathan and Lena. "I'm humbled. I am thankful for this community and what it means to me." He said his purpose is to shine a light that will draw others to us. The Young Professional of the Year, former Dunn Chamber President Hope Tyndall, was awarded the Young Professional of the Year by last year's recipient, Russell Galvin. This award is being presented to someone who not only exemplifies the award criteria but has an integral part in continuing to grow the Dunn Young Professionals. She is chair of the group in the past few years, Ms. Cochran said. Ms. Tyndall is also active in the schools as a member of the Harnett Primary PTO, tutoring and working with parents as teachers through the Harnett Cooperative Extension Service. She is also active at Divine Street United Methodist Church and is a volunteer coach. Professionally, she is also a member of the North Carolina Association of Certified Public Accountants, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, and is a CPA at her father's firm, Alton R. Gower Jr., PA. She loves spending time with her husband, Brandon, and two sons, Gavin and Asher. Ms. Cochran said, Ms. Tyndall said, "Thank you. This is a surprise." She said the chamber has been a springboard to everything else I do.
Okay, this is Savvy Senior. Now, we realize it comes from Norman, Oklahoma. Send your questions to Savvy Senior, Post Office Box 5443, Norman, Oklahoma 73070, or visit savvysenior.org. .org. Jim Miller is a contributor to the NBC Today show and author of the Savvy Senior book. He doesn't look like a senior. Dear Savvy Senior, right, well, what I started to say is while it comes from Oklahoma, it still applies to many of us out here. Dear Savvy Senior, what resources can you recommend for locating interesting volunteer opportunities? Since I'm retired, I've been doing some volunteer work, but most of the opportunities I've tried haven't been very satisfying. Unsatisfied volunteer. Dear volunteer, for many retirees, finding a volunteer opportunity that satisfies your interests, utilizes your talents, and matches your availability can be challenging. To help you find an interesting and satisfying volunteer opportunity, here are some tips and online tools that can help you search. Getting started. Volunteering is a great way for retirees to make a positive contribution to their community and stay actively engaged, not to mention it's good for your health, too. But how can you find the right opportunity for you? Start by asking yourself some basic questions like, what types of organizations or activities are you interested in? What kind of skills can you offer a volunteer organization? How much time are you willing to give? What do you want to gain from your experience? For example, meet new people, learn new skills, help those in need, exposure to a particular issue. Once you get a general idea of what you'd like to do, there are dozens of volunteer websites that can help you search for different opportunities in your areas. Most sites work like search engines that let you choose an area of interest and type in your zip code or city and state. The site will then give you a list of opportunities that you can check into. Depending upon your interest and expertise, here are some top websites to get you started. General volunteer matching sites. To find a wide variety of volunteer opportunities in your community, check out ideal-match.org. Idealist, that's IDEALIST.org, and allforgood.org, a Point of Light website, the world's leading volunteer service organization that lets you search for local volunteer opportunities or start your own projects and invite others to help you. Also see handsonnetwork.org, another Point of Light enterprise that connects volunteers to opportunities through more than 250 volunteer centers throughout the U.S. Wait, I'm stopping this a minute. Which president started the Points of Light? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but it was it one of the Bush?
It might have been a Bush. It was a Republican, I think, because I liked him.
It seemed like it was a Bush, but I'm not sure.
Anyway, that was a good thing, and it's still in existence. Okay, back to the article. Retiree volunteer sites. If you're interested in opportunities targeting older adults and retirees, some good options include AARP's createthegood.org, along with Senior Corps, that's SENIORCORPS.gov, which matches retirees with community projects and organizations that need experienced volunteer help. Senior Corps offers 3 different programs: RSVP, which has a variety of volunteer activities with flexible time commitments, that's what I like, and never show up, and Senior Companion Program that brings together volunteers with homebound seniors who have difficulty with day-to-day living tasks, and the Foster Grandparent Program that matches volunteers with kids in the community that have exceptional needs. Government-sponsored sites. There are also a number of government-sponsored websites that can help you look for different volunteer opportunities. To locate dozens of general options in your area, visit serve.gov. To find natural and cultural volunteer opportunities in places like national and state parks, see volunteer.gov. If you're interested in emergency preparedness and disaster response volunteer services, go to ready.gov. Or if you're interested in longer-term volunteer opportunities, check out AmeriCorps.gov, and that's AmeriCorps.gov, and PeaceCorps.gov/50+, which offers a bevy of 3-month to 2-year programs in the U.S. and abroad. Professional and executive sites. If you have expertise in areas like business planning and development, marketing, communications, finance, fundraising, web and graphic design, or writing and editing, there are sites like catchafire.org, taprootplus.org, and escus.org that can link you to volunteer opportunities with nonprofit organizations in need. Or you can help entrepreneurs and small business owners through the SCORE.org volunteer mentoring program. That sounds like real good deals if you're ready to go volunteer. And I missed.
There we go. I've got it. But to answer your question, it is George H.W. Bush that started this.
Aren't you wonderful?
Aren't you? Okay. This is the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service, a United Way partner agency. We broadcast from the campus of Fayeville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. As a nonprofit agency, we rely on public donations. We request your support to continue our services. When making charitable donations, please keep the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service in mind. Our post office box number is 35029, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call us at 910-672-1600 or our toll-free number 1-844-709-5656. Your radio hosts are
Carolyn
and Wanda, and we are proud to serve you today.
And they can call even to complain about me, but I hope not.
Okay, Dax Prez's theme, Compass for the Future. Meredith Bradham concluded her year as Dunn Area Chamber of Commerce, that's DAC, president, and Dana Cochran of Select Bank and Trust took the gavel to lead the organization in 2018 during the Chamber's annual banquet and membership meeting. More than 300 people attended. The event was held in the Dunn Shrine Center. The Dunn Area Chamber of Commerce is something to be proud of, Ms. Branham said. She said a study was conducted of the chamber and the reports were glowing. She said she often hears from new chamber members that I didn't realize how much the chamber does. Mrs. Bradham said DAC had a successful year, adding 34 new members among many other activities. She said during the past year, education has been a priority and that the city is on board for future growth. She also recognized the hardworking staff members, Tammy Williams, Heather Lawson, and Nancy Wright. She recognized the outgoing members, Felicia Myers, Gina Warren, Trent Carpenter, Annette Barfield, Jonathan Murphy, Dr. Sylvia Wilkins, and Jerry Wood. Then it was Miss Cochran's turn. She first thanked Miss Bradham. I admire the praise and grace in which you have led the chamber, she said. I'm going to work this year to match your passion, and Tammy hopes I am going to work to match your calm spirit, she said to chuckles in the crowd. Her theme is a compass for the future. She said everyone can use tools for direction. She said her goal is to set the charter for the course. Some of her goals are to add mentors to the young professionals group, tell the community stories, form a large image committee, strategic planning with the city, continue work on education such as promoting the upcoming STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics school at Dunn Middle School, and to help with the Dunn Police Athletic and Activities League. That's PAL. Didn't know that. As far as the city's image, she said she was told by Hoover Adams, founder of the Daily Record, which was Miss Cochran's first full-time employer, if you don't tell your story, someone else will. It's true, Carol.
I like that.
I like that too. Have to write that one down. And in no regards to PAL, she wants more people to volunteer as mentors. Excuse me, let me read that again. And in regards to PAL, she wants more people to volunteer as mentors. She turned the podium over to Dunn Police Lieutenant Rodney Rowland, the director of PAL. She said it started in 1995 mainly through sports, but it has evolved way past that. Some of the other activities they do include tutoring, 3D printing, robotics, and media arts. He said more than 50 youth have been sent to Boys Town and more than 3,000 youth have participated in PAL. 2 former and 1 current PAL participants spoke. Patrick McNeil is a teacher and coach at Triton. To me, PAL inspired me to want to do better. Monique Smith of Irwin currently works in student affairs at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. It was an opportunity for me to connect with other people, she said. PAL played such a key role in my life. 14-year-old Nicholas Williams joined PAL in 2nd grade. He said it changed his attitude. Now I'm getting straight A's and plan on going to college, he said. Ms. Cochran concluded her presentation by adding this: each step in the right direction allows, it's a very long article, us to see more in that direction. New officers for 2018 include Renee Jackson of Jernigan Nursery and Trading Post, who will serve as president-elect, Brian Stewart of First Federal, who will serve as vice president of community development, and Lee Honeycutt of Agent Alliance Group, who will serve as vice president and of membership and organizational development. Continuing in their current roles are Rodney Stewart of TriStar Insurance Service, who serves as a vice president of economic development, Rob Jones of Nationwide Insurance, Rob Jones Agency as vice president of education, and Matthew Smith of TRP CPAs as vice president of finance. Ms. Bradham of Bradham Chiropractic Clinic will now serve the chamber as immediate past president. Tammy Williams, executive vice president, along with Heather Lawson, executive assistant, and Nancy Wright, office assistant, make up the chamber staff. New directors whose terms will end in 2020 are Carl Bauer of The Cellar, Kathy Blackman of Thomas Drug Store, Lee L. Tart Malone of Tart Law Group, Felicia Myers, and Gina Warren of Gina Warren Photography. Directors whose terms end in 2019 are Drew Campbell of BB&T, Edith Elmore of Elmore Realty and Builders, Kathy Pope of Nationwide Insurance, Rob Jones Agency, Ryan Ray of Agent Alliance Group, and Hope Tyndall of Alton R. Gower Jr. CPA. Directors whose terms end in 2018 are Pam Fairclough with PJ's Truck Bodies and Equipment, Lucia Turlington with Turlington Real Estate Group, Rodney Warren with Guile, Strickland and Warren, and Don Wood with Archie's Appliance, Parts and Service. At-large board members who will serve a one-year term include Gary Peacock of Warren Company, Melissa Redmond of Belk, and Terry Whittington of Happy Heart Productions. Ex officio members include Stephen Newshafer on behalf of the City of Dunn, Oscar Harris as President of General Lee Commission, Jerry Wood, the Campbell University representative, Kim Schmadlin, Chairman of the Dunn Area Tourism Authority, Abe Elmore, Harnett County Commissioner, and Vivian Bennett and W.H. Bill Morris for Harnett County Board of Education.
You're right, it was a long article.
Lots of names.
Well, wait till you get this. I'm going to do the obituaries, and apparently people are dying like flies here. Excuse me. Shouldn't talk like that. And I'm reading them, and all but one is older than me. I like to see that. Annie Elvira Upchurch Wilburn, 91 of Lillington, passed away peacefully January 29th at the home of her daughter Linda and son-in-law Tommy Stewart in Buies Creek, North Carolina. Born on February 20th, 1926 in Harnett County, she was the daughter of the late Simeon and Miriam Upchurch and the wife of the late Eugene Wilburn. Elvira loved her Lord and her family. As a member of Oak Grove Baptist Church, she taught Sunday school, sang in the church choir, and served as a deacon in the church. Elvira enjoyed planting and growing flowers in her garden. She put fresh flowers in her church for Sunday services as long as she was able. Her family would always take her flowers that needed nurturing back to life, recognizing her green thumb and her ability and patience to transform them again. She spent long hours working in her yard with flowers and her vegetable garden. Elvira was an avid reader, frequently visiting the Harnett County Library, choosing books she would read all week. She shared the many stories she read with her children and grandchildren. Elvira kept a journal of the special time she spent with her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. She wrote a book using her journal entries, sharing many of her precious moments, teaching her great-grandchildren about insects, nature, and seasonal crops. Elvira graduated from Buies Creek Academy, attended Central Carolina Community College and Campbell University. She worked with students teaching reading and life skills. She spent wonderful years working in the Keith Hills Country Club snack bar and retired from Campbell University. Elvira is remembered by her fortune. No, we're not doing that. A private graveside service will be held at Pleasant Plains United Methodist Church ceremony. A memorial service was conducted at 2 p.m. Thursday, February 1st, at Oak Grove Baptist Church with Dr. Rich Jeffords and the Reverend Ed Bedingfield officiating. The family will receive friends at the church Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. and at other times at the home of Tommy and Linda Stewart. The family wishes to express their appreciations to the staff of Liberty Hospice Service for their loving care of Elvira. A special thank you is extended to Cindy Gardner Stanley, who helped care for and love our mother in her final moments. In honor of Elvira's life, please contribute to Liberty Hospice Services, 105 Hunt Valley Drive, Dunn, North Carolina 28334. Or to Oak Grove Baptist Church, 851 Oak Grove Church Road, Angier, North Carolina 27501. Arrangements by O'Quinn Peebles Phillips, Funeral Home and Crematory, Lillington. Online condolences at www.oppfh.com. Betty Stewart Hauser, 80, of Lillington, died Saturday, January 27th at UNC Hospital. Oh, isn't she beautiful in that picture?
Oh, yes.
It's a younger picture, of course, but boy, she is beautiful. She was born January 11th, 1938 in Harnett County to the late Kermit Paul Stewart and Roselle Thomas Stewart. She was preceded in death by her son, Kenneth Worth Temple, and daughter, LaRonda Rose Shanholtz. She met John Hauser, an Air Force captain stationed at Fort Bragg, on St. Patrick's Day in 1972. They were married December 1st of that year. After 2 more years, Mr. Hauser resigned from the Air Force, and he and Mrs. Hauser relocated to Northern Virginia. She entered the civil service and advanced her career in facilities management, becoming a building manager at the Pentagon for 1987 and dedication ceremonies. Wow. In 1985, her son Ken suffered a severe brain injury in an accident. She attended to his needs for the next 33 years of his life. In accordance with Mrs. Hauser's wishes, all services will be private. Arrangements by Cromartie Miller Funeral Home. 2 wonderful women, and I'm not going to have anything like that in mine. Retired Army Chief Warrant Officer 2, Paul Blaine Smith, 82, died Friday, January 26 in the NC State Veterans Nursing Home in Fayeville. He was an Army veteran and served in Korea and Vietnam. Mr. Smith was preceded in death by his parents, Ezra and Zelpha Crockett Smith, and a sister, Isla Dean Smith. A graveside funeral and interment with military honors was held Friday at 10 a.m. at Sandhill State Veterans Cemetery on Fort Bragg. Arrangements by Adcock Funeral Home. Violet Hall Tatum, 85 of Benson, died Monday, January 29th at Universal Healthcare in Lillington. Mrs. Tatum was born April 2nd, 1932 in Harnett County. She was preceded in death by her parents, Amy A. and Carrie Carter Hall, and brother Alan Hall. She worked for 9 years with PwC in Fayetteville and was a homemaker. The funeral service was held at 3 p.m. Friday at Zoar PFWB, and I don't know what the P stands for, but the rest is Free Will Baptist Church, 780 Zoar Church Road, Salemburg, with the Reverends Donald Carlisle and Donnie Barber officiating. Burial followed in the church cemetery. Excuse me, it's on hold. The family will receive friends Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. at Butler Funeral Home, 401 West Roseboro Street, Roseboro. Memorials may be made to Zoar PFWB Church, 740 Zoar Church Road, Salemburg, North Carolina. Eloise Cummings Cribbs, 80 of Sanford, died Tuesday, January 30th at First Health Hospice and Palliative Care in Moore County. She was born in Harnett County on May 16, 1937, to the late Sam Cummings and Vera McDonald Cummings. She was preceded in death by her husband, Ellis D. Cribbs. 5 brothers and 1 sister. Mrs. Cribbs worked for many years at Perry Brothers. A funeral service was held at 2 p.m. Friday at Turner's Chapel Church with the Reverend Bruce McInnes officiating. Burial followed at the church cemetery. The family received friends Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. at Bridge Cameron Funeral Home. Robert C. Terry, 68 of 60 West 142nd Street, Apartment C, New York, New York, formerly of Dunn, died Monday, January 22nd at Rosary Hills Home, Mount Pleasant, New York. Funeral services were held at 1 p.m. Friday at Dafford Funeral Home Chapel, 707 East Edgerton Street, Dunn, by the Reverend Lorenzo Small. The entombment will be at Grace Haven Cemetery in Dunn. There will be no public viewing. Clinton Morrow 2, 95, of the Plainview community, died Monday, January 29th at Betsy Johnson Hospital in Dunn. Mr. 2 was born September 10th, 1922, in Sampson County to the late Louis Hiley and Lucy West 2. He was preceded in death by his brothers Clesper, Oris, and Marvin 2, and sisters Mildred Eason, Marlene Hawley, Leslie Warren, Olivia Howland, and Mary West. Mr. 2 was a graduate of Plainview High School. He worked for over 37 years with Tom Snacks before retiring in 2002. Mr. 2 was a member of Lee's Chapel Church, where he served as a deacon and on several church committees. He was also known for his love of gardening and sharing his harvest with family and friends. A funeral service was held 2 p.m. Thursday at Lee's Chapel Church in Plainview, with Dr. Brad Williamson officiating. Burial followed in Lee's Chapel Williford Cemetery. Visitation was at 1 p.m. Thursday, 1 hour prior to the service at the church. Arrangements by Skinner and Smith Funeral Home in Dunn. Beulah M. Brown, 93, of Fookway Marina, died Monday, January 29th. Arrangements will be announced by Weston Dunn Funeral Home in Irwin. Okay.
Fleming met with fear of board. I'm sorry. Several Harnett County commissioners expressed concern with the school system to the superintendent Tuesday at the board's work session in Lillington. I'm in the wrong place. Board Chairman Gordon Springle and Commissioner Barbara McCoy raised their voices during the meeting. Commissioner McCoy questioned the school system as a whole, with focus on the quality of education and focus on academic achievement. Chairman Springle openly voiced distaste over school board communication with teachers regarding bonus pay. Harnett County School Superintendent Dr. Aaron Fleming presented a half-dozen-page packet of information to commissioners, 3 pages of which were related to teacher supplements. The superintendent would like to see an increase in teacher supplements if the current 5% average to 10%. If we get 10%, that's $4.4 million, he said. Following Dr. Fleming's explanation of the packet, Commissioners Howard Penny and Vice Chairman Joe Miller asked if teacher bonuses could be applied to the supplement percentage. We can't count that because it's a bonus. We've never considered it a part of the supplement schedule, and I know the bonus conversation could take us on a long conversation, Dr. Fleming said. Commissioner McCoy interjected, saying, I want the teachers in this county to get whatever they need and to get the level of where they need and get to the level of where they need to be. But the school system in this county is a mess. I hear so many different complaints from parents about the school system. If we could put more focus on the children and them getting a quality education, that would make me very, very happy. Commissioner Miller then reiterated his concern over the teacher bonus, saying, we want this settled. This is the 3rd year of this, and this is the 3rd year of a complete catastrophe. Why has it turned into such a mess? The contention comes over the amount of money budgeted for the bonuses versus how much money was paid out. Harnett County budgeted more than $2.1 million in bonus money. It paid out just over $1.7 million after many teachers originally factored in did not qualify. The remaining $422,916 was then transferred into the school board's capital fund for infrastructural improvements. When we talked about this thing to start, we talked about a retention bonus in the very beginning because we had this money coming to us. We talked about that we were going to pay $1,500 to certified teachers, Chairman Sprinkle said. We started out with classroom teachers, but it was changed to certified teachers, which I don't have a problem with. We did all that, and you all decided that you were going to take out $150 to pay for benefits, and so forth, and that's your decision. Then we had some left over, and you all asked if we could transfer that money to a capital fund so that could be used, so you could use that capital money. But that's not the message that the teachers got. The message the teachers got was we had leftover money and we just didn't pay them. That's the message they got. That's the message that got back to me. It was the wrong message, and that is not going to happen again. Mr. Springle was referring to an email sent to school employees by the school board chairman, Bill Morris, to Harnett County School System teachers. In that email, Mr. Morris said the school board did pay the $2.1 million in teacher bonuses and expected to be reimbursed that full sum by the county, but only $1.7 million was sent. He said in a compromise, the remaining money was transferred to the school's capital account from the county. Mr. Springle said the letter that went to the teachers from the school board indicated that we had not spent our money. We kept our money. We kept back money that we did not spend to give you guys because we didn't want to spend all that money. That was the impression that they got and hurt people's feelings because they thought we were not doing our job. The chairman said the board wants an agreement that includes a list of the total number of teachers and their years of experience with the county. We're going to pay them $1,500 no matter what we budget. Any money left over is going to be our money because we're not going to give it to you," Mr. Sprinkle said. "I cannot believe the message that was sent to those teachers from the school board. That was absolutely the most incredible thing I have ever seen in my life, giving the impression that we had not done our job," Mr. Sprinkle said. "And here we are coming up with a $1,500 bonus to try and help the school, help the teachers. That is crazy. That is not going to happen again. That will not happen again." He said no one explained to the teachers that budget was based on the total number of teachers and that the county paid out only to teachers who qualified. "The good thing is, in the future, we're going to have an agreement between this board and the school board and you on how this is going to work," he said. Dr. Fleming then proposed a joint meeting to work on the bonuses. The meeting is scheduled for March 27th. Ms. McCoy hopes to build a better working relationship with the school board. "We're supposed to be working together, not trying to work apart from each other," she said. "The teachers know the story. They know the truth. They know that the last 3 years about their pay, their pay, and they know that we are working to help them, not to hurt them."
It sounds like somebody did something wrong.
Yes, a little tangled web.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to finish up, I think, with Dear Abby, or maybe it's not going to finish up. Anyway, man puts drinking problem on display in widow's yard. Dear Abby, I'm a widowed senior who has been dating a very kind man, Ben, for 3 years. He is retired, I am not. He does things for and with me, and we enjoy traveling together. The problem is, Ben usually starts drinking about 3 p.m. at the neighborhood bar. I'm welcome to join him, but I prefer to work at my job or volunteer in the community. By the grace of God, Ben has made it home safely every night, but I'm afraid he will eventually hurt someone. My son came home for a month because of a job change, and tonight he found Ben passed out in my front yard. I told my son I was sorry, and he said not to be, but he does not want his family, my grandchildren, around when Ben is like this. I'm so embarrassed. I would miss this relationship, but I'm wondering if you think I should end it, missing the good in him. Dear Missing the Good, it must have been clear to you for some time that Ben has a serious drinking problem that needs to be addressed. Whether you should end the relationship depends upon whether he is willing to admit he has a drinking problem and is willing to do something about it. Because Ben's drinking is now affecting you and, by extension, your family, it's time to confront him and give him a choice. Get help or find another lady friend. There are Alcoholics Anonymous groups worldwide and in almost every community. Steer Ben in that direction, and while you're at it, locate the nearest Al-Anon group for yourself. You will find it both sympathetic and helpful. These groups are as close as your phone directory or your computer. Visit al-anon.org. Dear Abby, I recently utilized a national ancestry company to determine my heritage. I also provided kits to my adult children thinking it would be a fun exercise we could all share. Unfortunately, my good deed came with unexpected consequences. According to the results, my youngest son isn't related to me. Apparently, unbeknownst to me, my ex-wife had an affair 25 years ago. What do I do now? Should I confront my ex to verify the affair and learn the identity of my son's father? How do we tell my son? Should we? How do we handle our families? Keep it a secret? I would appreciate your guidance. Unknown family tree. They're unknown. Before making accusations or announcements, it is important that you determine the accuracy of the test to make absolutely sure the results are conclusive. If a second test verifies the first, your son should be informed because he has a right to know his familial medical history, and he should talk to his mother about who his biological father is. Okay, I guess we got room for a couple of shorties. You got a couple of shorties
I think so. Here's an interesting one. We have, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
All right. Church leaders invited to learn what to do in case of an active shooter. The Cumberland County Sheriff's Office will hold an active shooter preparedness class for heads of church organizations Tuesday, February 6th at 6:30 p.m. Leaders of any faith-based organization within the county are invited to attend. Organizers request only leaders or their designated security person should attend due to limited seating. Attending this training will empower you with the tools and best practice tips to endure an active shooter incident. We know there are several other active shooter trainings that you may attend, and while we appreciate those facilitators, we want to provide you with another opportunity to receive this life-changing and potentially life-saving information. Protecting and saving lives is our top priority, said Sean E. Swain, Public Information Officer with the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, in a press release. The course will be taught by Training Sergeant Chris Taylor, who is an instructor in the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office training section, along with being an active member of the Special Response Team. Sergeant Taylor, who has previously taught this course to numerous organizations of worship, will instruct on how to react during an active shooter scenario. The course lasts approximately 1.5 hours and also informs participants of past active shooter situations and how to maintain situational awareness. Church members who aren't able to attend the training can contact the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office and they will work to set up a session. These type of events are happening not only here in our country but all over the world. So we can teach our citizens one thing to keep them safe. I think that's very important. That's why it's so important to us, especially as law enforcement, because we're here to keep the community safe, said Mr. Swain. He added, having a prepared plan could help save more lives while waiting for the first responders. The training is free and there is no formal registration. Seating is limited to 60, so call to reserve your seat. Contact Sergeant Taylor at 910-223-3323 and give your name and the church you represent. This is the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service, a United Way partner agency. We broadcast from the campus of Fayeville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. As a nonprofit agency, we rely on public donations. We request your support to continue our services. When making charitable donations, please keep the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service in mind. Our post office box number is 35029, Fayeville, North Carolina 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call us at 910-672-1600 or our toll-free number 1-844-709-5656. Area students on Coastal Carolina Dean's List. Approximately 2,419 students have made the fall semester 2017 Dean's List for academic achievement at Coastal Carolina University in Conway, South Carolina. To qualify for the Dean's List, freshmen must earn a 3.25 GPA and upperclassmen must earn a 3.5 GPA. Area students who made the Dean's List for fall include Marquise Jones of Linden, an exercise and sports science major, Emily Thornton of Dunn, an Intelligence and National Security Studies major. CCU offers baccalaureate degrees in 73 major fields of study. Among CCU's 21 graduate level programs are 18 master's degrees, 2 educational specialist degrees, and the doctorate in marine science, coastal and marine systems science. The most popular undergraduate majors are marine science, management, exercise and sports science, communication, and psychology. Blood drive to be held Friday. An American Red Cross blood drive will be held Friday from 2:30 to 7 p.m. at Cameron Grove AME Zion Church. To register, send an email to camerongrovechurch@gmail.com. Walk-ins are also welcome. The church is located at 309 Vernon Street in Broadway. Woods makes Dean's List. Trezavant T. Woods, son of Charles and Saronda Woods, Sr. of Lillington, made the Dean's List for the fall semester 2017 at California University of Pennsylvania. He is the grandson of Ruby J. McNeil of Dunn. Mr. Woods is studying biology with nanotechnology as his concentration. Morning with the dogs. I have a small confession. I struggled this week about what to write. Should I write a serious article or one bordering on the ridiculous? My choices boil down to writing about the President's State of the Union address or my dog's habits when going outside. After much internal deliberation, I decided to be serious and discuss my scientific observations about my two dogs in the morning. I'm a morning person by nature. That may come as a surprise to many of my friends until they realize the part of the morning I'm talking about is from midnight to about 2 to 3 a.m. Truth is, I've not spent much of my life awake between 5 to 7 a.m. I wish I could say the same about my dogs, Nacho and Precious. I've had Nacho 9 years now. I inherited him from a prior breakup. I also keep my late mother's dog, Precious. We have slumber parties 5 days a week. Both are Chihuahuas and both have ownership rights over anything as far as their eyes can see. Like me, they have routine related to their bathroom habits. Their respective call for nature occurs about an hour earlier than I normally get up. So I've trained myself to be able to take them out to conduct business, yet stay in the mid-sleep stupor, so I can get in bed and grab another hour of sleep before I get ready to go to court. Are we supposed to be switching over right now?
Yeah, it's about time.
This is the funniest thing. He's talking about his dogs. Okay, I gotta finish reading this one.
Well, sure.
I have noticed that they have different styles when it comes to doing their thing. Nacho's technique resembles something from the movies, The Matrix. He contorts his body until his right leg is doing a karate side kick, which would impress Chuck Norris. If he is ridding himself of solid material, he's talking about their bathroom hair. Yeah. Ridding himself of solid material, he first looks indignantly at me as if to say, can I get a little more privacy? Then he backs up to some object like brick landscaping, a fence, or a bush.
Can you turn that down just a little bit? Okay, sure, that good. Well, the roundy things. Back down. I think it's that one, yeah. Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm sorry, I was getting myself blasted.
Okay, let me see where I was. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No problem. I never have understood that idiosyncrasy, but it seems to be a deal breaker to force him into the open. Nacho is also a little here, a little there practitioner, sprinkling the love generously in small doses throughout the yard. Precious, on the other hand, is less socially conscious than Nacho. She goes out, looks happily back at me as if to say, is here a good spot? When I nod approval, she then gets down to business with a look that says, look at me. She has two techniques. One is what I would describe as the long distance ski jumper, and that is where she puts one of her front paws down, and with the other in the air, she places her legs in the shape of a crooked V, lunged forward in the air while she does her thing. It's quite impressive, and she holds that pose like an Olympic skier trying to get the maximum distance from her jump. Her other stance is what I call the wheelbarrow. She puts one of her front paws down but extends her back legs behind her, appearing to hover over the ground. And unlike Nacho, she is a one and done. Nacho waits for Precious to go first, not because he has a sense of chivalry or decorum, but because he fancies himself a refined sommelier. $10 word for wine taster. The reader's imagination will have to take the reins from this point. Now I have to admit, I will occasionally join them if I don't see anyone out and about. My technique is, look Ma, no hands, especially if it's cold outside. Occasionally I will go into aim mode if I see a target on my sidewalk. When Nacho is finished, he will step forward and momentarily pose like a victorious matador before kicking up grass to cover his handiwork. Precious will simply run to the door without so much looking back. Like the dog and pony show that is a State of the Union speech, After an entertaining little production, both parties, the Nachos and the Precious, leave their mess behind, expect hearty congratulations, and desire to be given a treat. Observations from the really unwashed, but still well read. This is from Mr. Morris. He lives in Irwin. You can contact him at tcmlaw5@aol.com.
I love his content. What's going on with people? Clifton Jeffords Springs, according to authorities. And the bystanders once again grabbed Campbell. Why did they call him a gentleman? Some customers and workers inside the business, Russ's chief said, Campbell was reportedly yelling racial epithets during the assault, officials said. Jones received multiple stab wounds, but the injuries were not considered life-threatening, Godwin said, and he was transported to receive medical care. Oxendine was also not seriously injured in the assault. Campbell's next court appearance is set for February 14th. My gosh, aren't they terrible? Okay, go on to something else.
Oh my goodness. Historic Church hopes first Black History Banquet won't be last. One of Hope County's oldest churches will hold a special banquet in February to bring history to life and honor local Black leaders and community members who have given service to others. Freedom East Presbyterian Church, which celebrated its 150th anniversary in 2015, is sponsoring what organizers hope will be the first annual African American History Community Banquet in Hope County. We thought it the right thing to do to take the lead. We realized there was not a program to celebrate African American history. Freedom East pastor Willie McCaskill said, the Hope County Civic League boasts a special dinner every year in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day in January, but this will be the first such event held during the month of February, McCaskill said. We wanted to do something to recognize those people here who locally have contributed so much to the community throughout the years, he said. In the future, McCaskill said the church hopes to partner with other churches to continue the banquet. The event is set for Saturday, February 17th at 6 p.m. at the Rayford Presbyterian Church Rock Fellowship Hall, located at 128 West Edinburgh Avenue in Rayford. Tickets for the banquet are available for $20 for adults and $10 for youth ages 15 and under. The dinner will offer an evening of history, inspiration, food, and fellowship while recognizing the contributions of 5 award recipients to the Hope County community. Members of Freedom East Presbyterian are very proud of the accomplishments of our honorees, and we wish to praise and recognize them publicly, McCaskill said in a letter announcing the event. Let's see, back here on page 10 is the rest. The first recipient will be Dr. J.W. Gorham, longtime pastor of Shady Grove Missionary Baptist Church, who will receive the Lifetime Achievement Award for more than 40 years of serving as pastor at the church. Deacon and Elder William and Vera Hollingsworth and the WFMA radio station will receive the Outstanding Community Service Award. East Freedom Masonic Lodge will receive the Outstanding Community Service Award. The Bowie Live Music. Freedom East Presbyterian Church is sponsoring the event. To purchase tickets, contact Pastor McCaskill at 261-3088 or Elder Cheryl Thompson at 578-3771 or email freedomeastchurch@gmail.com for more information. Proceeds from ticket sales will go towards the church Christian Education Department.
Okay, still on the front page, Little Free Libraries now open. The Hope County Friends of the Library has been busy making reading material available in many areas of the county. There are book stations that are part of the national organization Little Free Libraries at these locations. In front of Daddy Mac's Convenience Store, 6079 Turnpike Road, the Children's Playground at the Sport Complex at 3195 Red Springs Road, 12 Oaks Lake, 545 East Lake Ridge Road. These locations host indoor book exchanges. Beans Gone Wild Coffee Shop, 2070 Club Pond Road, and there's a picture there of Shantavia McFall, owner of Beans Gone Wild Coffee Shop, showing the little library available in her store. And it's a about a 4 foot tall bookshelf with, I'm guessing, I don't see part of it, guessing four shelves with lots of little books in them. First Health Spa and Gym, 313 Teal Drive. Shepley Automotive, 3091 Lindsay Road. One Stop Barbershop, 261 Flagstone Lane. At the Little Free Libraries and Book Exchanges, books are free. Take one and return it or trade it for your own book. The Book Nook at the Rockfish Flea Mall is open on weekends as volunteers are available. Books there are $1 for hardback and 50 cents for paperback. If you would like to volunteer to work at the Book Nook, call the library at 875-2502. A donation drawing for a lamp made of books will be held on Saturday, February 3rd, you missed it, the last day of a used book sale at the library, which begins on Friday, February 2nd. Find the nearest outlet, pick up a book, and curl up for a long winter's read. If you'd like to be part of the Friends of the Library, please come to the next meeting of the library at 6:30 p.m. on Monday, February 24th. Now, see, that sounds like a good volunteer thing.
It does.
And I'd love to see people read.
Yes. Ex-fireman charged with embezzling. Authorities last week arrested the former assistant chief of Pine Hill Fire Department for allegedly embezzling $30,000 in funds from the station. Investigators with the Holt County Sheriff's Office arrested Christopher Martin Duffel, 32, of the 200 block of Falling Leaf Drive in Rayford on 30 counts of embezzlement, 4 counts of obtaining property by false pretense, and 2 counts of insurance fraud. Law enforcement officials accused Duffel of taking funds from the Pine Hill Fire Department, which is located on Ashmont Road in western Holt County, from October 2016 through November 2017. The sheriff's office became involved December 1 of last year when they learned of funds going missing from different accounts belonging to the Pine Hill Fire Department. An investigation was initiated between the Holt County Sheriff's Office and the Holt County District Attorney's Office and the North Carolina Department of Insurance. According to a media release from the Sheriff's Office, investigators arrested Duffel January 23rd, and he was held under a $150,000 secured bond. The Pine Hill Fire Department, Holt County, and the state of North Carolina were all listed as alleged victims on the report. Holt County's fire departments are largely volunteer-based and receive funding through taxpayer dollars from the people who live in each fire district's coverage zone. Duffel reportedly served as assistant chief of the fire department for 7 years, but is no longer involved with the organization. The investigation is ongoing, and more arrests may be forthcoming, according to the sheriff's office.
That is terrible. You know, policemen, they're like doctors. They ought to be better than the average person.
Yeah, public servants.
All right. Woman found dead in apartment. Officers with the Rayford Police Department are conducting a death investigation after finding the body of a woman last week in an apartment on the 100 block of East Central Avenue. The woman's body was sent to the state medical examiner's office in Chapel Hill for an autopsy and identification. Her name has not been released. Officers received a call Thursday asking for a well-being check on a woman. They located the body while conducting the check. Authorities are awaiting the results of the autopsy and a positive identification of the autopsy, and a positive identification of the individual. Currently, the case is being handled as a death investigation. Police blocked off the scene with crime scene tape and additionally blocked the road at the intersection of East Central Avenue and North Stewart Street through Thursday night while they examined the scene. Okay, and to continue with crime and so forth, here's the police blotter. Rayford Police reported the following recent incidents. January 23rd, counterfeit currency, 200 block of West Cole Avenue, victim, state of North Carolina. Driving while impaired, 1300 block of North Fulton Street, victim, state of North Carolina. Assault by pointing a gun, common law robbery, 100 block of Yadkin Trail, victim, Penny Grace. January 24th, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of less than 1/2 ounce of marijuana, 200 block of Cole Avenue, rear of business, victim state of North Carolina. January 25th, larceny, damage to property, breaking and entering, 400 block of West 8th Avenue, victim Elisa Sellers. January 26th, assault on a female, assault inflicting serious injury, 200 block of South Main Street, victim Samuel Jones and Lisa Oxendine. Yeah, we just read about that. Larceny, 100 block of Campus Avenue, victim Mary Street. January 27th, larceny, 400 block of North Stewart Street, victim Sylvia Atkins. Resisting, delaying, or obstructing a public official, Lantern Lane at South Main Street, victim state of North Carolina. Okay, take it away, baby.
Okay.
Got anything good?
Let's see this to the editor. No good reason to incorporate rockfish. This is in reference to previous articles on rockfish incorporation. Yes, I am against it. Facts. Americans, seen from comments in publications, news, and personals, don't care for governmental bureaucracy. Why add another one totally unneeded? When the interested powers in this annexation state the eastern side of Hope County is neglected, tell me how so? Road signs? That is DOT. And anyone can request road signs to be installed, and DOT, the commissioners, do usually support such requests. Evaluate the area's need for same. Setting up fairs, parades, etc. by any group can be done. To feed children when not in school, there are lunch programs available from volunteer programs. But I certainly would object to just feeding in East Hope schools. Ergo, rockfish as a governmental entity would be wrong in favoring one school over another. But you can do so as a volunteer organization. Adopting families at Christmas is also a personal volunteer matter, not a government's job. We do get support from governmental needs in Eastern Hope when they arise, and the Hope Commission is aware of them, and it is financially feasible, legal, etc. You simply have to attend the meetings to realize you do have a say in matters, especially if supported by a group rather than one individual. I also know that some of you have served on boards in the county. I did not hear you complain then in wanting to get off and form your own bailiwick. I also am aware some of you ran for county commissioner and did not get elected. I truly understand the frustration of no one outside of a certain cadre of people getting elected, but the fault lies in the fact that the large voter population of the eastern community does not bother to vote for county officers because they have no interest in Hope except as a bedroom community. And I am saying the big majority, not the few hundred that support this incorporation plan. We did get a one-of-a-kind grade school in Eastern Hope County that even made headlines nationally. We do have the sewage treatment plant set up here in Eastern Hope, by the way, in preparation for the eventual sewer lines. But that is a long-term project costing millions and cannot be done at a whim of a few citizens, just as the water was brought to Hope by the county over a 10+ years. By the way, Rockfish used to have a water plant and could not even maintain that. I remember the county hearings when the county was begged to take it over in a rather derelict state. As to what an incorporated community town should provide, water, sewer, electricity, local road maintenance within the incorporation, you will not be able to do them. We do have the utilities anyway, and you would not even have the finances to pave and maintain your town community roads, nor the equipment unless you charged enormous taxes. A high school is needed, but then you certainly could not build that. Besides, that is also an item on the county's list, but it costs lots of money and financing has to be figured out. It's not like buying groceries. As to the future location, I believe it is considered for the eastern part of Hope, but the prevalent factor is the availability of land owned by the county or if needed to be purchased at a reasonable cost. I have the impression, even though you are business people, many of you, when it comes to your prejudices, you have a blind eye to what it takes to do such things, large things by an entity. What you neglected to do all along is to be caring citizens for all of Hope and regularly attend the county commissioners meeting. I'm asking you now to correct that. As to our legislators from Raleigh, I suggest you do not commit yourselves at this time to the program. since you have not bothered to have any meetings for the general public to hear more opinions. As to annexation by Fayeville or Hope Mills, yes, it is a possibility, but it is my understanding that the local county board would have to give its approval also, and I would not count on that. And I would certainly fight that from here to Raleigh, just as I fought Cape Fear Valley Hospital trying to push out First Health of Moore County in regards to building emergency hospitals. This is written by Renata Dolan of Rockfish.
Apparently she lives there and doesn't want it. Okay, I'm going to do The Frog Holler Philosopher by Ron Huff. Few nonpartisan perspectives. Since my good friend and immaculate lawyer Wilfred Paradise requested that I write less about politics, I have tried, but it's hard in the current environment. I have been giving a lot of thought to what drives the political process and how it seems to constantly pit one side against the other when we basically have similar wants, needs, aspirations, and dreams. I have decided to try to look past most of the noise. Here are a few nonpartisan perspectives. Political parties are simply a mechanism for bringing an agenda to a vote. There would be no need for these parties if they did not constantly realign themselves so that the electorate is fairly equally divided. If one party were always dominant, there would be no point. This need for balance has changed the very definitions of what parties stand for radically over the years. Unfortunately, the partisanship becomes more important to the politicians than the actual work of good government. Politicians use our tribal nature to divide us and promote their own agendas. Pundits on one side will present objections to ideas from the other side as if it is their responsibility to do so. Actually, it is because they are being paid to be oppositional. This is often counterproductive. The debate on health care has been reduced to a choice between providing adequate health care for people in need or having a dominant military. Why is that the choice? Because we spend more money than we collect, don't want to collect more, and can't manage to spend less. In my view, there is no right to health care, and perhaps we would be better off if the government had nothing to do with it. But if so, why has it become a government responsibility? In the good old days, people just died. Country doctors did a good job where they could, but there was no expectation of great health care. There were no drugs and procedures to cure all, regulate our body functions, and make us live longer. When society perceived these needs, they called for help. Why didn't they get this help from the states? Was it because this common problem could best be addressed on the national level? These caring policies resulted in an ever-increasing demand and expectation from the public. Can we now turn our back on those in need? Could health care be provided more efficiently by the states now? Can some version of Medicare be run on a state-by-state basis? The main function of our centralized government is to provide defense, laws and regulations that promote the welfare of all our citizens. The countries in Europe voluntarily established a European Union of sovereign countries that had governed themselves independently for years. Why did they do that? Maybe because complicated problems that apply to a widespread interacting population are best handled in a centralized manner. Can it fail to do its intended job well? Yes. Is there a better alternative? Enough energy falls on the face of the earth each day to provide all the energy used by man over several years. Pulling fossil fuels destructively out of the earth, while once our best available technology, should now gradually go the way of the dinosaurs that decayed to make the fossil fuels. Will this save the earth? No. Can it benefit man in both the short and long run? Yes. Who is keeping this debate alive and why? Racial prejudice is based mostly on ignorance and tradition. It is reinforced by an unwillingness to accept the cultural differences of others and ignores the evidence that is all around us. I have a hunch that these attitudes are deeply buried in our tribal past, but why do we cling to them? The iconic humans of various races are not just exceptions. They are just exceptional humans of various colors. You don't have to be black to play the blues or white to be president. The evidence is there. Sins performed in the name of religion are one of man's greatest threats. Government should concentrate on common problems, not ideological differences. People hate Americans because of what we do, not who we are. In spite of economic theories, no one can guarantee that the new tax policies will be good or bad. I'm hoping for the best. If more money starts coming in, Congress will gladly ignore the debt and spend it. More later.
Sounds like a soap opera.
Oh, it's time.
Oh. All right. This is the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service, a United Way partner agency. We broadcast from the campus of Fayeville State University, and our signal is carried by WUNC Chapel Hill. As a nonprofit agency, we rely on public donations. We request your support to continue our services. When making charitable donations, please keep the Southeastern North Carolina Radio Reading Service in mind. Our post office box number is 35029, Fayetteville, North Carolina 28303. If you have any questions or comments, please call us at 910-672-1600 or our toll-free number 1-844-709-5656. Your radio hosts are
Carolyn
and Wanda, and we are proud to serve you today. Yes, let's cut the government. The North Carolina legislature is supposed to be a part-time body, but you wouldn't know that by the number of special sessions we've had. Every time legislators come back to Raleigh, there are rumors and speculation about what they'll do. This time the GOP is using the special session to try to rig the judicial system, a move that will likely cost taxpayers millions more in legal fees and probably be found unconstitutional. If they're coming to Raleigh, there's a lot they could be doing. In particular, they could fix the unfunded mandate they passed when they reduced class size without the money to cover the cost of additional teachers in classrooms. Unfortunately, it seems we're headed for a budget shortfall this year, and the Republicans would rather pay legal bills to fight for unconstitutional legislation rather than pay for better schools for kids. If it's not addressed, the unfunded mandate will require some schools to drop arts education and PE. That's bad for our students and our reputation. Instead of offering a real fix, expect Republican legislatures to tell us they're offering students a choice. If they want to go to schools with arts and PE, they can go to one of the dozens of new charters that offer them. Or we can send our kids to a private school with the help of a voucher.
Sure we can.
Unfortunately, those schools might not offer a cafeteria or transportation, so they're not really much of an option for poor kids. That's school choice. You can have a school with arts and PE, but it might not have a lunch or buses. If you choose to go to a traditional school, you get food and rides, but you don't get all the extras that give kids a well-rounded education. In the modern North Carolina school system, you can choose any bad option you want. When Republicans tell us they're reforming something, it really means they're cutting the budget. They believe they can reform our schools by cutting programs that benefit kids and improve performance with competition between traditional charter and private schools. It's magical thinking, and our kids and reputation will feel the hit. If Republicans feel the need to be in Raleigh, they should spend their time fixing what they've broken instead of breaking more of what works. In particular, they should fix our schools and leave our courts alone. Really, though, they should just go back to being a part-time legislature and get back to their conservative mantra.
All right, we're going to do the obituaries again. A lot of people are dying here. Let's see, Roy Turner of Fayetteville died Friday, January 26th at Duke University Hospital. He was a member of Galatia Presbyterian Church, where he served as Sunday school teacher, church treasurer, deacon, and elder. He served in the U.S. Air Force, volunteered in Lake Rim Volunteer Fire Department, and served on the Cumberland County Joint Planning Board. He was a blood donor for more than 30 years. He is preceded in death by his parents, Carl and Elsa Holman Turner of Fairfield, California, and his parents-in-law, John McNatt and Mary Stewart Johnson Gillis of the Galatia Church community in Cumberland County. The family will receive friends from 10 to 11 a.m. Saturday, February 3rd, at Galatia Presbyterian Church, with the funeral following at 11. Pastor Brett Johnson officiating. Burial will be in the church cemetery, excuse me. Memorials may be made to the Galatia Presbyterian Church Building Fund, 8800 Galatia Church Road, Fayeville, North Carolina, 28304. Online condolences may be made at www.lafayettefh.com. Velma Crumpler Chumley, a loving wife, mother of 3 boys and 6 grandchildren, died at her home January 30th after a long illness. She was oldest child, born on February 12, 1932 in Clinton, to Gordon and Margaret Bradshaw Crumpler. She graduated from Highsmith Memorial Hospital School of Nursing in Fayetteville as a registered nurse. She received special pediatric training at Duke University. She married Paul Franklin Chumley Sr. in 1960. They were married for 57 years. She was employed at Highsmith Hospital, where she was head of the pediatrics floor and taught pediatrics after graduation. She later returned to work 2 nights a week so she could care for her 2 boys. She also was employed in Southeastern Regional Hospital in Lumberton. Upon marrying, the Chumleys lived in Waynesville, Asheville, and Lumberton as her husband was transferred. When her husband was promoted, they moved to Columbia, South Carolina, where she was one of the first registered nurses employed by Lexington County Hospital in the North. She was an active member of Riverland Hills Baptist Church, where she served on numerous committees. She and several other ladies formed a team called the Mop Squad, where they cleaned homes for sick and disabled people free of charge. She also, along with other ladies, performed skits at church functions like the church's Fall Festival. She is survived by... The funeral was held at Riverland Hills Baptist Church in Emo, South Carolina, with burial at Bush River Garden Cemetery on Bush River Road. The family received friends prior to the service at the church. In lieu of flowers, please send memorials to Riverland Hills Baptist Church or donate to a charity of your choice. Online condolences may be made at www.crumplerfuneralhome.com and www.templeshalloranfuneralhome.com. Tommy Lee Watson of Rayford passed away Saturday, January 27th at the age of 94. She was born in Scotland County on May 6, 1923, to the late Willard Watson and Lily Sessoms Watson. She was a member of Rayford Praise and Worship Center. She retired from Abbott Laboratories. She was a loving mother that cared for her family, her church, and her community. She was preceded in death by her husband, Jesse Albert Byron, brothers Frank D. Watson, James Watson, and Willard Watson Jr., sisters Anna W. Cribb and Mildred W. Malloy, and grandchildren Cindy Barlow Billinger and Alton Ray Burrow III. She is surprised. The funeral was held Tuesday, January 30th at the Rayford Praise and Worship Center at 2 p.m. with Pastor Randy Steed officiating. Burial was in the Hillside Cemetery in Laurinburg. Memorials may be made to Rayford Praise and Worship Center, 2095 Longleaf Pine Drive, West in Pinehurst, North Carolina, 28374. Online condolences may be made at www.crumplerfuneralhome.com. Ruthie O. Andrews Bridges died January 26th at the age of 66. She was born on March 3rd, 1951. She is survived by her mother. Visitation was February 1st from 1 to 6 p.m. at Bowie Funeral Home Chapel. The funeral was held Friday, February 2nd at 2 p.m. at Mount Sinai Holy Church, 7th Avenue in Rayford. Committal followed at 4 p.m. at McLaughlin Chapel Cemetery on Dock Brown Road. Chris Monty Hollingsworth died January 23rd. He was born on October 8th, 1973 in Rayburn. Oh, young guy. He has served, a memorial service was held Sunday, January 28th at Billy Funeral Home Chapel at 2 p.m. Hamer Jackson Leach, age 89, of Charlotte, died January 23rd in Charlotte. He was born March 11th, 1928 in Rayburn, the son of the late Foster Grady Leach and Geneva Sewell Leach. After World War II, he served 18 months in Alaska with an aviation engineering unit of the U.S. Air Force. He was a graduate of North Carolina State University with a degree in electrical engineering. He retired from Bell South in 1982 after 30 years of service. He was an active member of Hickory Grove Presbyterian Church for many years, where he served as an elder and member of the building committee. He enjoyed fishing and spending time at the beach with his family and friends. He had a sweet and gentle nature. He touched many lives and will be greatly missed. He is survived by his wife of 65 years, Robbie Bestley. Oh, I'm not doing that, I'm sorry. He was preceded in death by his brother, Robert G. Leach. In lieu of flowers, memorials may be made to the Albemarle Road Presbyterian Church, 6740 Albemarle Road, Charlotte, North Carolina 28212, or Urban Ministry Center, P.O. Box 31335, Charlotte, North Carolina 28231, to benefit the homeless. And that does me.
Okay. Golden Leaf scholarships available. Polk, Richmond, Robeson, and Scotland are among the counties that qualify for the Golden Leaf Scholarship Program, and the program is seeking applications from now until March 1. We have a program for students to attend North Carolina community colleges and a program for students to attend North Carolina four-year colleges and universities. If students are interested in attending community college, they need to contact their community college financial aid office for information about the Golden Leaf Scholarship. A statement about the program said, the scholarships are available for both graduating high school seniors and students already attending a community college who are looking to transfer to a participating four-year institution. High school seniors are eligible for up to a $12,000 scholarship, $3,000 per year for 4 years, to attend participating colleges and universities, while students currently attending community college and looking to transfer to a participating four-year institution can receive $3,000 a year for up to 3 years, depending on the number of credits the student transfers. For the four-year Golden Leaf Scholarship Program, an applicant must meet multiple criteria to qualify. They must be enrolled during the 2017-18 academic year at a North Carolina public or private high school or a North Carolina community college. Enroll for fall 2018 as a full-time degree-seeking freshman or transfer from a North Carolina community college at one of the qualifying public universities or private colleges and universities in North Carolina. Be a North Carolina resident for tuition purposes with a permanent residence in one of the qualifying rural counties. Demonstrate financial need. Submit a Golden Leaf Scholarship application available at cfnc.org/goldenleaf. A FAFSA, that's a free application for federal student aid, available at www.fafsa.gov. That's FAFSA.gov. And a current high school or community college transcript no later than March 1. A complete list of program requirements, participating campuses, and qualifying counties can be viewed at cfnc.org/goldenleaf. Since its inception, the Golden Leaf Foundation has awarded over $38 million to help more than 16,300 students from rural North Carolina attend the state's college and universities, according to the program's website. The Golden Leaf program awards $215 each year, 215 scholarships each year. For more information, contact the scholarship online at http://www.goldenleaf.org/scholarship.html.
Okay, Alton, I'm cheating on you. I'm doing lots of reading.
Okay.
We've got some criminal reports again. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I'll just, instead I'm going to do election filing period, opens February 12th, by Catherine Shepard, staff writer. The filing period for the 2018 partisan elections will open for candidates a week from Monday, with several local races already announced as contested. The filing period for local and state elections will open at noon Monday, February 12th, and will close noon February 28th. Filing for nonpartisan races will open July 6th. Many local offices are up for election this year, including the Hope County Sheriff's Office, 3 seats on the Hope County Board of Commissioners, 3 seats on the Hope County Board of Education, and office of Clerk of the Court, the position for County Coroner, and office of the Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisor. Boy, they could change the whole direction that the Hope County is going, couldn't they? A whole lot of stuff. Several races are already contested, with 3 people announcing plans to run for sheriff, and 3 more announcing their intentions to run for a seat on the county commission. Incumbent Sheriff Hugh Peterkin, he's been there forever, hasn't he?
He has been in a while.
Former Rayford Police Department Chief Kemp Crumpler and candidate Darren Bronson announced their plans to run for the office. This marks the first time in a number of years that the race for county sheriff has included more than 2 candidates. Peterkin has held office since first being elected in 2002. Well, that answers that. 3 candidates have also announced their intentions to run for a seat on the Board of Commissioners, including Joseph Alston, Terrell Samuel McMillan, and Graham Poole. Incumbent Commissioners Tony Hunt, Terry Sutherland, and Alan Thomas currently occupy the 3 seats that are up for election. I wonder if they're going to run. The filing period for nonpartisan races will not open until summer, when candidates for the Board of Election and the Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisor positions will officially declare their candidacy. Incumbents Barbara Bowie, Della Mayer, and Irish Pickett currently occupy the 3 seats up for election on the Hope County Board of Education. Evelyn McLeod currently holds the office of Clerk of Court. In state races, Hope's elected officials in the State House and State Senate have also announced their intention to run for re-election. State House of Representatives Republican Garland Pierce and State Senator Ben Clark, both Democrat. Well, when they abbreviate REP, I never know if it's Republican or Representative. State House of Representatives, Representative Garland Pierce and State Senator Ben Clark, both Democrats, have announced that they plan to seek office again. Filing fees are $897 for sheriff, $147 for commissioner, $892 for clerk of court, $5 for coroner, $45 for Board of Education, and $5 for Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisor. Boy, that's a big change, isn't there? But there's a huge range. The filing fee for state senator and U.S. House of Representatives is $207, with the filing period for those offices yet to be announced. The primary election will be held Tuesday, May 8th, and the general election will be held Tuesday, November 6th. For additional filing information or information on how to register to vote, contact the Hope County Board of Elections at 875-9062 or visit https://www.hopecounty.net/index.ASPX?NID = 235. Okay.
I will take on these 4 crime reports here. They're all neatly in a row. Makes for easy reading. 3 charged with drug offenses. Detectives with the Hope County Sheriff's Office Special Operations Unit arrested 3 people last week in connection with a drug investigation that took place in the Hare Road area. Deputies arrested Alan Lee Hall, 40, of the 300 block of Branch Road in Red Springs on a charge of possession with intent to sell or deliver a Schedule II substance. William H. Brooks, 47, of the 400 block of Singleton Lane in Red Springs on charges of misdemeanor possession of a Schedule II substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and driving while license revoked. And Earl S. Brooks, 59, of the 300 block of Singleton Lane in Red Springs on charges of misdemeanor possession of Schedule II substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. Sheriff deputies observed 2 vehicles sitting in the middle of the road with a person standing outside the window. During the course of the investigation, officers reportedly located crack cocaine pipes and Percocet pills in the second vehicle occupied by William Brooks and Earl Brooks. When detectives checked Hall, they reportedly located more Percocet pills in his possession. All 3 men were arrested at the scene. Hall received a $1,000 secured bond, while William and Brooks received a $600 secured bond, and Earl Brooks received a $400 secure bond. All 3 were arrested January 26. 2 charged in drug bust. Investigators with the Hope County Sheriff's Office arrested 2 people Monday on drug and fraud charges, according to authorities. Deputies arrested Cleveland Wilson, 54, of the 100 block of Foxhall Court on 11 counts of selling or delivering heroin. His wife, Phyllis Mack Wilson, 54, of the same address, was charged with fraud for allegedly using another person's EBT card to buy food on multiple occasions in 2016. Cleveland Wilson was also held under a $500,000 secured bond, while Phyllis Wilson was released on an unsecured bond. The arrests were the culmination of a 6-month-long investigation ranging from May to October 2017, according to authorities. 2 arrested on drug charges. Investigators with the Hope County Sheriff's Office arrested 2 people from Red Springs on drug charges last week following an investigation in the Cope Road area, according to the authorities. Deputies arrested Joshua Ray Jacobs, 17, of the 300 block of Nutley Drive, and Dakota Nick Hunt, 18, of the 600 block of Paxton Road. Both were charged with possession with intent to sell or deliver marijuana and conspiracy. Hunt was additionally charged with carrying a concealed weapon, and Jacobs was charged with driving without an operator's license. Bill was set at $25,000 for both Jacobs and Hunt. Woman charged with assault. Investigators with the Hope County Sheriff's Office arrested a woman last week for allegedly assaulting a handicapped person and taking items from her home. Deputies arrested Caricia Leanne Smith, 31, of the 100 block of North Highland Street in Rayford on felony charges of breaking and entering and larceny after breaking and entering, and misdemeanor charges of personal injury to property, assault with a deadly weapon, and assault on a handicapped person. This is so sad to me. Officers called to a home on the 7400 block of Callaway Road on January 17th, learned from resident Cindy Riley that the suspect allegedly entered the home and removed her personal items along with taking other property that belonged to Riley. 2 days later, Riley took out a warrant for assault with a deadly weapon and assault on a handicapped person against Smith. Smith turned herself in to law enforcement January 26. She was held under a $2,300 secured bond.
Oh my. Okay. We got enough time to do it. All right. Hope School Board Attorney to take job in Cumberland by Catherine Shepard, staff writer. The Hope County school system is seeking a new attorney or law firm to advise the school board on legal matters after longtime attorney Nick Sojka resigned. Sojka, maybe? S-O-J-K-A. To take similar job with Cumberland County Schools. Sojka served as attorney for the Hope County Board of Education for 18 years. Wow, that's a long time. Beginning in 2000 and ending this Wednesday, his last day on the job. In that time, he coordinated many different matters for the school system, handling everything from legal paperwork to the novel public-private funding arrangement that built the high-tech, environmentally friendly Sandy Grove Middle School, to advising board members how to implement new recommended policies from the North Carolina School Boards Association, NCSBA. During Sojka's time with the school board, the Hope County Board of Education received the School Board of the Year Award from the NCSBA. Sojka also recently made his mark for his involvement with the landmark Leandro case, when he was appointed to the North Carolina Governor's Special Commission responsible for overseeing how the state is complying with the state constitution's requirement to provide a sound, basic education for all students. Soika will continue to serve on that committee as an at-large appointed member along with the 17 other appointees. Currently, the group is waiting for a National Education Organizations report on the needs of North Carolina schools and what it would take to fully comply with the Leandro decision. In the future, the committee will be responsible for providing direction for how the state implements solutions to bring it into compliance. The Board of Education scheduled a special meeting set for 5 p.m. Wednesday to meet with representatives from a law firm to discuss hiring a new attorney or firm to represent and advise them in legal matters. The school board planned to meet with attorneys Rod Malone and Carolyn Waller of Tharrington Smith, LLP, to discuss potentially retaining the Raleigh-based firm as the board's legal counsel. Okay. We've got more room than we want, don't we?
Yeah. Let me see if I can squeeze in a little bit of this one. 47 years ago, February the 4th, 1971, John K. McNeil, mayor of Rayford, is named the Kiwanis Man of the Year. He is cited for his church and civic activities. An elder at Rayford Presbyterian, he is also on Rayford City Council since 1953 until elected mayor in 1969. He is also a member of the Board of Health. A Rayford Hope Housing Authority is approved with a jurisdiction 10 miles beyond the city limits. The 5-member board will be appointed by the mayor and clears the way for the town to apply for low-rent public housing. City Manager John Gaddy says as many as 3,000 or more homes are needed, according to a survey by the local Department of Local Affairs. Ellen Willis, a home agent on her way to work along Rockfish Road, notices smoke curling from the home of Mr. and Mrs. Alonzo Jacob. She blows the horn but gets out and no response. She tries knocking on the front door. A mother and 4 preschool children, unaware of the fire, answer the door. Miss Willis takes the infant as the mother gathers up the 3 toddlers, and they reach the car as flames come out the front door of the house. Charles Willis pushes away a car next to the house, and a passing motorist moves away a truck. Miss Willis takes the family to Burlington Industries, where Mr. Jacob works. Rockfish Fire Department responds, even though the house is outside of its jurisdiction, but the home is a total loss. That was nice. Yeah. She saw that.
And fixed it.
Yes.
Well, okay, do we have anything else there?
Well, there's a tad bit more.
Okay, another tad bit. We got a couple minutes.
Tidbit, yep. The U.S. Army is partnering with Hope County to provide medical services at that health center. The first activity is to purge and update medical records and x-rays. They're also helping to test for TB. A grand jury recommends fire safety improvements at the Hope County Courthouse. Doors should open out instead of in, and fire extinguishers should be available. It is also recommended that installation of an elevator. The courthouse is almost fireproof, said Archie Byrne and T.B. Lester, though there are fire extinguishers located around the building except for one on the 3rd floor where the grand jury meets. An elevator would be extremely expensive, they say. We'll stop there.
Okay. Well, this concludes our reading of the Dunn Daily Record and the Rayford News Journal. Stay tuned for an hour of Raleigh programming, then enjoy Off the Bookshelf at 4 p.m. You can hear a rebroadcast of this program at 7 p.m. on Saturday. Your radio hosts have been Carolyn
and Wanda,
and we've enjoyed being with you this afternoon. Thank you for tuning us in. Have a wonderful day. Okay, you've got to do something over there, but I don't know what.
I'm done. If you turn those off, that's it.
I thought I turned them off. Okay, I didn't turn them off. There we go.
Hi, this is Barry. Inviting you to join us Friday as we take time to read speeches.
Is there a women's ministry at your church?
Is there a what?
Women's ministry?
Well, we have a women's club. I mean, the circle they call it.
Yeah.
And why?
Because I'd like to invite your church to come to our women's program in March, and I want to send this letter by you if you'll be my courier.
Sure.
Yeah. I have the job of going with this letter.
Yeah. Where's Ruth?
Okay. we still on?
I hear them, so I hope